It was late, almost 3 a.m. The kind of hour when the house breathes too loudly and shadows stretch into accusations. Then the ringing started. A tinny, relentless sound that seemed to vibrate in my bones. Hello. My voice was thin, trembling, barely audible above the ringing's echo. I knew, instinctively, that nothing good ever came out of a call at this hour. We talked for what felt like an eternity. The clock ticked past 4 a.m., and when the line finally went dead, the silence was deafening. I tried to call back immediately, but it was all vain static. I kept calling her, or rather waiting for her to call me, every night after that. Her voice was impossibly sweet, yet threaded through every syllable was an unsettling, deep-seated dread. I started keeping a journal of our calls, the times, the phrases, the strange little details she mentioned about things that didn't exist. It was my secret ritual. Lately, the calls weren't just conversations. They were interrogations. She would ask questions about my past, things I had never told anyone, details that should have been impossible to know. It was one night when I was caught. My mom found me in the living room, staring blankly at the dead phone line. She wasn't angry. She looked genuinely terrified. I heard her talking to my dad in their room. A hushed, frantic exchange. They weren't discussing grounding me. They were discussing her. I smiled back at my mother, playing the part of the oblivious child. "The landline isn't working," I murmured, trying to sound casual, but failing miserably. I retreated to the bed, pulling the covers up to my chin. It was a desperate act of self-containment, waiting for the inevitable call that would either save me or consume me. Minutes passed in agonizing silence. I thought they had forgotten. Then the phone rang. It wasn't the usual chime. It was a sound that felt like bones scraping on metal. I answered it, my heart hammering against my ribs. But the voice on the other end wasn't just a stranger's. It sounded like someone who knew every single flaw in my DNA. The conversation shifted abruptly. She started describing the room I was in, the dust motes dancing in the moonlight, the specific pattern of cracks on my ceiling. Details only someone standing right beside me could know. I scrambled backward until my back hit the headboard, staring into the darkness beyond the reach of the bedside lamp. She laughed, a sound that was too close, too real. My mother walked into the room then, not with anger, but with a terrible resignation. She looked at the phone and then directly at the figure standing in the shadows. "It was never about the landline," she whispered. "It was always about you."